Hey boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing Assassination Rogue, and before we start this video, I have a WoW 2 pretty much, and it pretty much saved everything that I had on my main account, so my achievements, everything, other than the characters. So I did lose my characters and my gold, but I still have everything else. I have to get the expansion and everything else. I have to boost new characters and do all that other stuff. But I had a viewer message me and he was like, yo, you keep everything. And I remember logging on it and I was like, yeah, okay, so it doesn't copy over. So yeah, it doesn't copy over the characters, but it does copy over everything else. Because when I logged on, I have my glad mounts, I have my, 2,700 achievements and blah blah blah. And then on check PvP, it also renders that over. So everything that I do on that WoW 2 is gonna add on to my check PvP. So all those characters that I did it's not like they're gone forever. It'll just, add it on. So shout out to Rockstar. I mean, I don't know why he would put Rockstar. That's what he wanted to shout out. But I'll just say Dennis69420. His Discord hooked me up, and I didn't know this entire time really. So I just figured that out after he messaged me. After I actually logged on and checked myself, I was like, bro, if I knew this from the beginning, I would have just, because I figured if you got permanently banned, then it banned the entire account. Well, that's not the case. It was just that specific WoW. So, now I have to go through all this stuff to where it's such a bad season right now because I can't do boost. Because there's no inflation in Arena. And what happens when there's no inflation is at 1400 you're facing healer DPS, and it's not like they're just any DPS. It's like if you're not playing a healer DPS right now, you literally can't win games. Like unless you're playing like rogue mage and you're actually playing like with a good mage or something, you literally just can't do it. Like I've tried to boost already and I literally cannot. I couldn't win a game. It was very rare unless I was facing another double DPS. I was just facing disc priest, disc priest, disc priest, disc priest, and I could just never win. So it's like your really only option is to carry healers, and that's pretty much it. Which kind of sucks, cause like when more people play DPS than they do healers, it's very rare that I find somebody that wants like a boost as a healer. Cause as a healer, you have so many options. You can queue with the best. You get to decide what you queue with. As a DPS, you kind of just have to pick what you get, and that's pretty much it. But you guys wanted Assassination Rogue, and now we're giving you that content here. But if you're wondering how my blind broke, it was simply just the stacks, and that's pretty much it. Every time you ambush with this build, it's the same thing as sub rogue. It puts a stack on them, and all your goal is to ambush every time you vanish, every time you have subterfuge up, and that's pretty much it. And that's kind of just all your damage. You're just bleeding, and you're just trying to hit those fat venoms. And you'll see this Boomy actually does really good damage at the very start of the game here. But I'd say Assassination. I don't really like it, but I definitely think it's better than sub with a healer. So if you're playing healer, healer rogue, play Assass. If you're playing, mage rogue, play sub rogue. Sub rogue can still work with like a disc priest and stuff, but like it's just sub rogue's not very. It's kind of like both versions of rogue are just damp. Like it literally just comes down to you use cooldowns enough to where they're just not able to heal. And that's pretty much all these is. Like you're not like a DK or a Pharaoh Druid where you can literally just you have the potential to just absolutely just blow up people the entire game. As it says, you're kind of just winging it. You're kind of just waiting until they use all their cooldowns and eventually you're just able to kill them. So that's pretty much all you're doing, and all your hopes and dreams are based off that. So you guys want Assass, so here we are. We're doing Assassination Row, which honestly, this, by the way, I hope you keep in mind, this is like 1700 CR that I'm playing at. After 3 weeks of the expansion being out, 1700 is still considered not low rated. Again, when you don't add inflation into Arena, which I have no idea why it has yet to be added in. The highest rated twos player, I think there's one at 2400. Everybody else is like 2100. Nobody's playing Arena. The highest solo shuffle player is like 2280. Nobody's playing solo shuffle. Like in general, just nobody's playing anything but Battleground Blitz. Battleground Blitz, the highest person is like 2800. So like, you're able to get queues quick, everybody's playing it, and you're kind of just vibing. It's like, it's a total different ball game in Arena. You can get 2400 in Blitz, and it'll feel like you're playing at like 1600 or 1800 in Arena. Like that's just like that's how many people are playing Battleground Blitz. There's just an insane amount. But keep in mind, a lot of these people aren't even good. It's just they're playing classes that don't die, or just you have to go through so many cooldowns that it's just like it just feels like the game just lasts forever. It's not like, oh, well, they just have trinket and then they die. It's, oh, well, I gotta go through this and then this and then this. Oh, and then I gotta go through this and then I don't do enough damage off my burst to actually kill. It's really just annoying, and you're just constantly doing this thing where your burst. My burst is pretty much my only damage. I don't do really bleed damage off it. It's really just big burst damage like this. As you can see, we're trying to kill him here in the opener of using a lot of cooldowns to try to take him out. Make sure you're ambushing with this build. I'll have the build in the description because it is good. It's not a bad build, and as you'll see, I do a lot of damage. But a lot of these people have no idea what's really happening, and you'll see this Pharaoh dude just goes back and forth. He doesn't. I don't think he realized who he was wanting to go, but uh, I wouldn't say this Pharaoh dude is terrible, but I wouldn't say he's good either. Because any other Pharaoh dude would literally be easily topping my damage or keeping up with me, like right on top of me. Because Pharaoh dude is a better version of Assassination Rogue. Same thing with DK. DK is now an Assassination Rogue, but a better version. And as you can see, the Druid literally gets on me for 2 seconds, and I go from 100 to 30%. Literally a bite version, like a bite and 2 bleeds worth of damage. Like, that's the power of just Tiger's Fury. That was just like a mini go for him that he just absolutely almost destroyed me with. So this guy decides to clone me, clone my healer, and then he actually finally gets to me. I kidney him. I thought, I figured he would trinket here, to be honest. But I guess, he's just sitting at 100% with skin, so. And this is pretty much Assassination Rogue, and again, I wouldn't suggest playing with a Wrestle Druid. I'd say Wrestle Druid is the worst healer that you can play with, because it does no damage. You want somebody that can help you do damage on your goes, because, like, you can get somebody down to 30%, but you can never finish the kill. Like, the only time you can finish a kill is on your burst. So, you play with a Disc Priest, play with a Presevoker. Those are your 2 healers that you're looking for. Don't look for anything else, because you need somebody to help you with damage. It might look like I'm doing unhealable damage, but in reality, you're only going to be doing big damage on your burst. Or your vanishes, where you're getting big growths and big ambushes, like, as in you're getting your stacks up and you're just able to actually do stuff. But that's pretty much the only time you're able to do big bursts like that. Otherwise, you're just double bleeding, you're keeping those bleeds up, and that's pretty much all you're doing all game is just bleeding up people. As you can see, I'm doing literally almost double this guy, or I'm doing 30 million plus damage, and it doesn't even feel like anybody's dying. It's just I'm consistently keeping people at like 80%. So, that's pretty much that. But, yeah, pretty much just kidney off the air. We finally fixed our frames a little bit, so, now we can, it looks more smooth and everything else. I just copied Hansel's to an extent. So here we kidney bomb. You'd think he would take on healable damage, but he actually, again, stays at 80% HP. And that's just a situation where, just having cooldowns every 30 seconds is just how it is. And I almost end up dying here, so I had to blind him. I actually almost end up dying. I have evasion, but I didn't think I'd have to click hit, to be honest. But I guess I have to. So here, that was a bad cyclone because I'm in evasion, so he should have cycloned me and then swapped it to the healer. Instead, he cyclones my healer, so I get the beneficial, or the benefit of my evasion, which was good. And again, this is literally just how it is. You're kind of just dampening people. I don't know if you guys can hear the dog in the back, but whatevs. And you will feel energy started with this build because you are stacking mastery. So just keep in mind that off your Thistle Teas, you're kind of just gonna feel like your energy starved, and you're kind of just that's just how it is. But we do end up winning this game, thankfully, and I wasn't even planning on recording this video right now because it's gonna end up being like a 20-minute long video, and I was just kind of lazy. It's already 9:30. So I didn't really feel like doing all that. But now, I kind of have to do all that. So here we get ambush up. We get all that good stuff. Another earthen from this guy. So we finally get the kidney off. We're starting to do some damage because we have our ambush proc up. And we're kind of just trying to kill him. Really, that's all I can really say. But yeah, anybody interested in carries that's a healer specifically right now, I'm able to kind of do you right now. But for DPS wise, it's until inflation's added and a healer DPSs go to around 1800. It's kind of just at the spot to where like I don't do enough damage on my sub rogue to actually kill anything. I just do enough to like eventually damp them out and then kill them. Like it's very rare that I kill somebody in the first go or two. It just doesn't happen. People have too many cooldowns. You have to, and just also keep in mind, facing any type of mage, you'll automatically lose the game. I faced two mages. Actually, no, I faced. If you face a Mistweaver with the mage, and a lot of people do this, they do this scum thing where you'll face a mage with something that's like super broken, and mages have a thing to where their root DRs don't actually DR. Like I've been literally stuck in the same spot for like 30 seconds. Like if you guys have watched, like I have a bunch of clips on here that I faced mages and I literally cannot catch them. And if I go their healer, I just get perma sheeped, perma rooted, and then I'm randomly getting one-shotted. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever faced. Because again, you're not a burst reliant spec. You are a dampener spec. You're meant to, and you're just meant to literally bleed them enough to where it gets high and damp. The problem is Resolute is not a dampener anymore. Resolute is like it's like low A now. It's very bad, and it not only does rats just do no damage, but as you can see, I actually reset my build. So this whole entire round, I didn't even have my ambush on my bars because I switched my actually I had the same build, but I had my power go off because of the hurricane because I live in Florida. So ended up resetting everything. And as you can see, if you look at the Prez Evoker's damage, this is why you want to play with a Prez or a Disc Breeze. Because it's going to be like having two DPSs on your team, which is the whole reason you just want that extra damage just to help you out and finish the kill. So, we end up taking them out, and that's pretty much that. I don't know, this is just how it is, but whatever. But yeah, that's kind of just going. Actually, I just, had to mute my mic. I actually muted my mic during because my dog was snoring. I was like, bro, come on now, let me do this video. I don't even know if you guys can hear, but she gets loud. She gets really loud. But yeah, I'm pretty much just bleeding, and there's not really much commentary to Assassination Rogue. I don't think Assassin is very fun at all, but you guys wanted to see it, and it is good. If you're gonna play healer DPS, play Assassin. I'm telling you, Sub Rogue's not it. Sub Rogue is like I don't know how I feel about Sub Rogue if I'm being honest. I don't feel like I feel like it's okay, but it's definitely not S tier anymore after the nerf on top of what it, because they nerfed their tier. Um, I'd say they're probably high A now. They're still good. If you play Rogue Mage, you're definitely gonna make it work. But overall, yeah, they're not very good. They're just like Assassination is just a better version of Rogue. It just overall does better damage, especially in threes. If you play with an Affliction Warlock or a DK right now, play on Holy DK Assassination Rogue, you're gonna be chilling. You're gonna be doing big damage, and you're gonna be having a good time. And that's why threes Rogue is a lot more fun because just having that extra damage, it feels like you're doing unhealable damage the entire game. Like if you look at it, I'm doing almost double this guy's damage, and it really just doesn't feel like I have kill potential. It just kind of feels like I'm keeping them either at 50% or 30% or 80%. It kind of just feels like I'm trying hard to kill these people, but they're just not dying. It's just not working out. So here we get our bleeds back up because, it's an evoker. He can kind of just reset my bleeds. He got intervened, so I'm not going to click anything on him because, it's going to get intervened. He teleports here, so I'm going to bleed the warrior. I'm going to disarm him on his little burst here that he has. He does wall, which kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, it's whatever. At this point, we're going to go the warrior. He's already low. I have death mark, so we're going to full send him. And the guy doesn't have anything to stop it. So he did cancel my bleeds before, so he can't cancel my death mark. At this point, it's going to be way too much to heal, and we do take him out. The next game, this is basically going to show you why DK is better than Rogue, and why DK right now is probably the best spec in the game. It's doing unhealable amounts of damage. It's like a ret paladin with permanently bleeds. They have like a horse they can ride on. This guy's literally just running around on his mount. He finally trinkets. Again, H-Pals are going to be your worst enemy because they can bop every death mark. They have bubble. They have their trinkets you have to go through. You're just going through so much stuff that, by the time you end up killing these guys, it's going to be very lucky. and you're kind of just full sending him. You're trying to get as much as you can. So here we get Bop immediately. Again, immediately bots my death mark after we stun him, which is kind of it's gonna happen. And again, this is kind of just what happens when you have to go through this many cooldowns. It's just, as a assassination rogue, all your damage is on your burst, and when your burst is consistently getting canceled, it's like that's when it just stops being fun, and you're kind of just you're tiptoeing around, and that's just all it is. So at first, it doesn't look like this DK is doing much damage. We're kind of chilling at this point. It feels like okay, well this guy's not doing much. We should be okay. But we'll see what happens here. So here he gets on his little thing here. We actually sap off of our blind, which was pretty insane. And then we're going to go resap if we can. So nice, we get a resap. And then all of that, we're going to start bleeding him. So we're going to step, or we're just going to go bleed him up here. He actually sacks air, which is really good. So here we're going to swap to him. We're going to shiv him so we can just keep doing pressure. Fortunately, Freedom makes him super fast, so that kind of sucks. So we're going to swap to the DK. And having permanent chains on me is like the most annoying thing in life. I wish they would DR, but they don't. I think roots in general should DR just like every other root in the game, like Frost Mages. Anything that slows you, even like Sub Rogue, or even like the Wound Poison, anything like that should just automatically DR. The fact that you can be permanently slowed is just disgusting. But here we get back on the H-Bow, and we're going to be throwing out a kidney here soon because it is off DR. Now the main target is usually going to be the H-Bow because, you're going to have to go through all these cooldowns. So here he actually bubbles, which is actually pretty nice because we didn't have to use a death mark. So, that's good. Here we kidney shot. He ends up tricking again, so that's kind of unfortunate. And you'll see his damage is starting to pop off. We actually are not able to heal through this damage. So we have full HOTS. I have Iron Bark on me, and I'm still dying. I'm actually still almost dead. My cheat death procs. I'm going to have to vanish here. And this is like the power of DK. So this guy's not clicking any burst. Now he's clicking burst. So now after all of that, he's finally decided to click some cooldowns, and all of his damage is bleed damage. It's not really him doing it, it's his pets and his bleeds. And you'll see over time his damage is, it's starting to pop off. So here we kidney shot. He bops for the second time, so we've gotten 2 bops. We've gotten Trinket, we've gotten Bubble. That's from one person, so that's 4 cooldowns. Insane. So now we're going back, we're going to have to bleed again. And that's pretty much that. So get our full ruptures up, get our growths off. We have blind, so there's that. If you're looking to blind, usually again when you're playing with a Restored, blinding isn't really that good because Restored, is just their cyclones are longer than your blind. So it's weird that a spammable cyclone is longer than a 2-minute cooldown. It's kind of mind-boggling how that makes sense. How they don't nerf cyclone, but they nerf everything else. That's just the level of IQ Blizzard has. So, that's unfortunate. So again, you're bleeding everything. Now we're starting to get completely destroyed out in damage. Because, he's literally just throwing bleeds out and his pets are just smacking us in the mouth. So at this point, we're kind of in trouble. This is kind of the end of the game here. My guy has Iron Bark, but that's pretty much it. So here he Iron Barks me. Now he gets silenced. We're going to kidney shot. We're trying to keep our bleeds up, but there's really not much else we can do. We don't have to go through any bombs, so then really the next time I have burst is really the next time that we can actually maybe close out this game. Now we are going to bleed the H-Pow as well. Always keep bleeds on both targets, unless you plan on CCing, so here we get sacked, so we're just going to sit on the H-Pow for a bit. And that's pretty much all we can do. So, pretty much just bleeding him up. Again, as you can see, the damage diff is just an entire different scoreboard. And this is just from bleeds. This isn't from the DK doing anything special. This is literally him just bleeding us both. It's basically Assassination Rogue 2.0. We actually sap off of it. So while our bleeds are ticking on the DK, we're just spam sapping the other guy. We're doing as much damage as possible. Hopefully we can end the game here. We death mark. He has nothing to stop us from doing damage, and we win the game. Thank God we won there because it was 100% over after that. We were out of cooldowns, and as you can see, that was not an easy matchup at all, and my guy starts laughing because that is the most cringe playstyle I've ever seen. I feel like DK has to be the most fun it's ever been, not just because of the damage it's pumping. And then we finally face a mage that doesn't know what's happening. The one time we face somebody that doesn't absolutely try hard and make it unplayable for us, this is the first mage I've actually beaten, like healer mage wise, because I just can't catch them. Like, they just run blink stun, and every time I kidney shot, it's just a non-stop consistency of just never being able to hit them. Thankfully, this mage wasn't that good, and he wasn't like spam sheeping me on my kidneys, so that it wasn't the end of the world. But it is insanely annoying trying to catch these guys. So I usually don't even try to go the mage, but I do bleed him. So you're going to be bleeding both targets. So keep those bleeds up, and you're going to be vanish corroding both. So here we try to catch him here, and this is just another situation of just never being able to catch him. My dog's just snoring again. Just like this is just crazy. I love having to talk over that. Whatever. We're at the end of the video anyway, so whatever. So at this point, Garrote, Rupture, and you're just going to keep that on both targets. You're going to use that red fan of knives pretty much whenever you can. Whenever you blow both bleeds up and you don't really have anything else to use, that's pretty much when you're using that. And you're not really blinding because, again, Cyclone is going to be a higher blind. Now, for example, whenever you're bursting on the DPS, you want to be blinding the healer. Now, if you're playing with somebody like you'll see here, this guy literally decides not to block. He has 2 blocks, and I don't think he uses a single one. So here we just full send him. We're like, okay, well he's gonna block here. Well, guess what? He ends up not blocking, and we win the game right here. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.